Hello, how are you all? I'm missing all my lovely students, so I thought it might be useful to do a handy recipe if you're stuck indoors or if you can't get hold of some bread. This is really easy. This is my cold rise overnight dough. So we're going to do that now, and then tomorrow I'm going to make it into some really beautiful rolls with lots of gorgeous things in. So here we go. I've got 500 grams of bread flour, but if you can't get bread flour, you can just use plain flour. It works fine. And then in there, I'm going to put a sachet of the active dry yeast. So 1 7-gram sachet in there. I know it's really hard to get ingredients at the moment. I'm finding actually that if I go somewhere like a farm shop or a corner shop, it seems to be a bit easier to find the basics. So good luck with that. So I've put in my 7 grams of yeast in there. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of salt. That goes in as well. And then because this is going to be a cold rise dough, there's no point in putting in warm or tepid water. We're going to put in cold water straight from the tap. Now, I'm just filling it up from the tap now. It's going to be about 350 grams, but it's just by eye. So I'm going to get a wooden spoon and just mix up my dry ingredients and then start adding my water. So I'm just going to add it gradually and keep stirring it. And what we're looking for is a fairly sticky, wet dough. So I'm going to show you in a second so you can have a look. So I don't know if you can see that. It's fairly sticky. I need a bit more water. You don't touch it with your hands at all. So it's not messy. I'm just going to add a little bit more. We're almost there. So I don't want it wet like a cake dough, but I just want it a bit wetter than if you were going to knead it. So this is perfect now. If you can see that, it's nice and sticky and wet. And I'm just going to literally just make sure that everything's mixed together like that. And then I'm just going to cover it in cling film and put it in the fridge overnight. You'll be amazed. Tomorrow morning, it will have at least doubled in size. And when you take the cling film off, you'll get this amazing, sour, yeasty smell, which is going to make the most delicious rolls. So, see you tomorrow. Hello, welcome back. Day 2. I'm going to get the dough out of the fridge. We're going to have a look at it and make it into beautiful rustic rolls. Okay, so this is the dough. It's at least doubled in size. It looks really bubbly and it's got this amazing yeasty, sour smell. Okay, so I'm going to put loads of flour down on my clean surface and then a bit on my hands too. Take this dough out. It feels really cold to the touch now because it's been in the fridge all night. Lots of flour on it. And then you can use a rolling pin if you like, but you don't have to. Just make sure you've got lots of flour down. It will stretch really well because it's had lots of rise. It should stretch beautifully. So now the next stage, we're going to fill these rolls with lots of amazing things. And the brilliant thing about this is that you can just do it with whatever you've got. So if you've got little bits in your fridge, little nuggets of things, you can put it in. And if you've got people in the house that like different things, who might be vegetarian, who don't like certain things, you can just make it to suit you, suit your family. So I'm going to make half of mine vegetarian and half not. So first of all, I'm going to start with this half. We're going to put some pesto down, spread it out. There's no amounts here, it's just whatever you've got, whatever you like. So I'm just going to spread that out. And then I've got some butternut squash that was left over from last night's tea. So I'm just going to scatter a few little bits of that on. And then I've got a little nugget of feta cheese, and I'm going to sprinkle that on too. So that's the vegetarian one. So I mean, you could just put cheddar, tomato, ham, any little kind of bits that you've got left over in the fridge, anything really. It just makes it go far. I'm just going to wash my hands. Right, so on this side, I'm going to just drizzle on a little bit of good olive oil. And then I've got one sausage that I took out the freezer last night when I did the dough, and then I just cooked it in a pan without the skin, squished it with a fork. I added some fennel and chilli and garlic to make it into a beautiful spicy Italian sausage, but you don't have to. Just cooked sausage is good. I'm going to sprinkle that over. I've got some broccoli left over from last night, so that's going to go on. For a bit of green. And then I'm going to sprinkle on a good portion of Parmesan. There we go. Right, so let's just spread this out a bit. So we've got half veggie, half meaty. Next stage is to roll it up. So we're kind of rolling it like a Swiss roll. This is why it's important to flour your surface well before you start. So just roll it up like that. If it breaks up a bit, doesn't matter. There might be some little kind of bits of bread at the end that haven't got any filling in. They're still good, they're just delicious. I've got my beautiful roll now, and I'm going to slice that up and put it on my baking sheet. So here's where we start to cut it up into little rolls. I've got myself a jar of hot water, and I'm just dipping my knife in there, which just makes it easier. You get a much cleaner cut. Okay, so here they are. They're the sausage and broccoli ones. There was a little bit of dough left over at the end, so I've made that into a plain roll. And those are the pesto, feta and butternut squash ones. So I'm going to leave those now for about half an hour. You could leave them for an hour, 2 hours, whatever you want really. And then when we're ready, I'll put them in the oven for about 20-25 minutes at 200 degrees, and then they'll be ready. Okay, so here they are out the oven. There, I just I'll just show you. I just give them a little tap underneath. If they sound hollow, then they're done. So here they are, panini rustici Really delicious, really filling, not many ingredients, very cheap to make. I really hope that you have a go at making them. See you soon.